All right, everyone. We're going to look at today is understanding your closing costs when you're making an offer as a buyer. So let's look at just this house here as an example. It's listed for basically $400,000, right? And let's pretend you're going to be making an offer on this house. What do? We have a few scenarios that we can run, and that is, let's talk about three different offer scenarios. We have A, B, and C. The first offer scenario, we have full price offer, and we're asking the seller to chip back to us $5,000 in seller paid closing costs. Okay? Now, so really your net offer to the seller is really $395, right? Okay, because it's not based on the seller's looking at his net offer. He doesn't care about, the fact that you offered him $400, he's getting this, okay? And so this is very important if you're competing with multiple offers, because you have to understand they could be higher than the asking price because a lot of people are asking for closing costs. You have to we'll work together to come up with a good strategy for each scenario. But let's just pretend in this example, you're not competing with offers, okay? So maybe you want to get a little better deal, right? Let's say you want to offer him $395, but you want him to pay you $5,000 in closing costs. So your real offer is $390, okay? That would be a realistic scenario. Now you could play with this and make, you could change this to $3,000 or $7,000, and that would obviously affect the bottom line here. But like I said, it's all on how much you want to bring to closing, right? Because if you're a little tight on cash, this is the reason why people ask for the seller to chip in to closing costs, so they don't have to bring so much money to closing. Now, because you have to understand, your closing costs are different than your down payment, okay? Your down payment is basically your down payment. It's like, let's either 5%, which in this case would be $20,000, or 10 or 20%, whichever loan you're using. You're going to talk to your loan officer and you're going to decide on what to do. I mean, there's even down payments as low as 3.5%, which is typically FHA. Okay, so that is just, you have to make sure to separate these two. Your closing costs will actually be around 3.5% to 4% of the sale price. So let's just say ballpark for this house right here, your closing costs are going to be around $13,500. Again, you'd have to ask your lender. But what do these consist of? Well, we have your closing fee, usually around $400. Your lender fee, usually about 1% of the sale. That's what they charge to do the loan. You have to pay a whole year's insurance up front. So that could be anywhere from, on the low end, $1,000, depending on the size of the house, up to $2,300, depending on everything. Just some small document fees. You have an admin fee charged by my broker and me, usually $350, and then there is no commission charge, so you don't pay commission as a buyer. But all these together usually adds up to, like I said, right around 3.5%, 4%. And so that's what you have to understand about closing costs. Is you can structure it anyway, or you can do it more simply, straight up offer him $390 with no closing costs. So that's your clean offer is $390. And typically, sellers prefer an offer like this, okay? Just clean, no closing costs, and just give me what you want and pay for your own closing costs, okay? But again, if you're a little bit lighter on cash, you can always ask for the seller to pay it, but then you might have to bump up your offer price. All right, guys. Well, hey, I hope that helps out. And like I said, every single offer we do is different. And anyway, questions, always check us out at seanandblanca.com.